Just check the volume levels, make sure it's all looking good, and I think it is. Okay, so bear with me, just setting the live stream up. Okay. Let's get the show on the road, shall we? So, what equipment do we want? Do we want a GPS? I guess it would help, wouldn't it? Just to see where we're going. We will have the autopilot on it as well. And we'll go and turn on the batteries. Guess it hasn't got beacons, so we'll put nav lights on as we start the engine. So release the fuel, shut off, and we'll open the throttle a small amount, turn the magnetos over, and we have an engine. Okay, then we go and turn on the avionics. We won't need panel lights on because it's a really bright day. We won't need a route, so we're just going to use the map. Strobe lights on, landing lights on. We're not following real procedures here, so we're not going to wait till we get to the runway for those. There's nobody stood around. So let's have a quick look at where we are. So we're going to turn left and then right out to the runway. Actually, I haven't chosen a server yet. Should we put ourselves on West USA? Then we might have a chance of seeing some people while we're here. Resume. Go around this robin. Calibrate the altimeter. And the compass. Whoa, what's going on? It said variable 4 knots on the NOAA. That seemed like a lot more than 4 knots. Of course we're at altitude though, aren't we? But we're only a couple of thousand feet. What's going on? So we'll look at the engine. Well, everything looks okay. The RPM isn't really spectacular, but I'm pushing it all the way. Just seemed a bit gutless, that was all. Okay, we're going to turn north or northeast and head towards Lake Mead. Well, I'm just looking at the altimeter. I already pressed B and it's saying 3,000 feet with only 2,000 feet. Let's go and check this. So there's Boulder. Show information, Boulder City, 2,200 feet. So that was accurate. Maybe I've just forgotten how gutless the little Rand's S6-S is. It's automatic mixture control in this aircraft, so you don't get to do that. But I am going to pull the RPM back a little bit because we are right up against the limit of the engine. Shall we change the time of day to make it a bit prettier? Because obviously I'm on live time, and it's probably middle of the day in... Sorry, wrong one. It's probably the middle of the day in Boulder. Should we go for early morning? So we're heading out towards Lake Mead. That's a bit better, isn't it? And we're going to follow Lake Mead round. And refer to the map as we go. Could have a little play with the autopilot in this while we're at it, I guess. So if I switch the autopilot on, I think it will automatically just go for wing leveling. Or I can tell it to do that. I can tell it to do altitude hold. So it's a very, very simple autopilot, but it's good enough to keep you out of trouble. Where's the fun in having an autopilot? We want to go exploring, don't we? Hopefully my voice is coming through. I'm experimenting with a new headset, so I just bought it today. I may end up, though, it doesn't come through as loud as I would like when I'm speaking with a soft voice, so I may end up having to go and buy an amplifier for the for the headset, like a preamp, before it goes to the computer. It's really frustrating. I've had 3 different headsets and they've all been very quiet, and I've ended up having to max everything out on their volumes. Thankfully, OBS has a compressor built into it, so you can target a specific volume. But yeah, this frees me up from having a huge boom microphone across the desk. Okay, so we're just heading around this headland here. So the Hoover Dam is just over the top of the over the top of here, so it would be a shame not to go and look at it, wouldn't it? So if we go straight across the road, we can go and have a look at how they've modelled it. Oh my word, thank you very much, Porkybus. I very, very rarely see anybody use the monetization stuff in YouTube. That's stunning. Thank you very much. So I'm just looking at what Mike Coffey has said about trying to land at Booker today. It's been pretty windy today, hasn't it? I went running earlier, and yeah, it was not fun. Okay, so we're continuing around the headland here. We need to have a look at this, don't we, to see where we are. So we're going to carry on along the Colorado River, and then it turns into Lake Mead up here. To keep an eye on the instruments just to see how we're doing. So keep an eye on the fuel level. I've filled it up to about 80%, so we've got lots of fuel. Just have to keep remembering to glance up at the wing route at where the instruments are. Saren says thanks for the videos. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. It's funny, when I started messing around with Flight Simulator a couple of years ago, I never really set out to have a YouTube channel. I was just recording a few videos and sharing them with friends. And then it kind of got out of hand. I think the biggest challenge is what I put out on the blog last week, or at the weekend, sorry, that I've gone and bought some of the fighter jets for DCS, because I've always stayed away from the military planes in Flight Simulator because I knew they weren't very good. So I'm going to double down on DCS for the fighter jets and go through proper procedures with them, you know, proper operating procedures as well. Write up, you know, the checklists to get them up and running and started, and obviously it'll be my usual trick of functional checklists. Let's say there's another aeroplane over there. I can see the nav lights on the other side of the estuary here. I'm not actually running transmitter, but then not many people do, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I will say this RAN's S6-S is very, very easy to fly. It almost flies itself. So I'm going along Colorado River. We'll be out towards Lake Mead in a few minutes. And then we're going to follow the Colorado River around into the Grand Canyon. So that's the plan anyway. As long as I don't hit a hillside. Yeah, just reading the conversation there with Mike saying if he doesn't fly something regularly, he gets rusty. Same with me. Same with everybody, I think. So this evening I went and had a quick look at DCS and loaded up the... Oh, hello, Sim's just frozen. It's worth pointing out, DCS doesn't do that. I went and looked at DCS earlier this evening and did some circuits in the F-15. I need to practice. It doesn't help that the symbology on the F-15 on the HUD is quite bad, so you end up looking at the instruments down in the cockpit. I think it was because it was of its era, they were still figuring out how to make the symbology nice. And the F-15 is quite a narrow performance window for landing, with angle of attack and speed and altitude. It's kind of like threading a needle to do a safe landing. Okay, so do we cut across to the Lake Mead recreation area? I wonder what's there. Is it worth seeing? Probably not. But it's something to see on the way, isn't it? fly across the headland. So someone says, is there a checklist for this aircraft? This is the most simple aeroplane possibly ever. There's not really worth writing a checklist for it. You turn the electric on, you turn the fuel on, turn the magnetos, and you're in business. It doesn't even have mixture control. Oh, there's some scenery aberrations here, look. That's a shame. We'll look the other way. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought you meant do I need to write a checklist for it? Yes, there is a checklist in the aeroplane. So you can click on it and it gives you all of your steps to do. But to be honest, it's so simple, you don't really need it. Something that is quite nice, if we turn the GPS off, there's a glove box and there's a fold-out map, and they do give you instructions for the aeroplane for how to put your own image in the fold-out map, which I thought was really nice. And I can't remember now how you get rid of the map. Oh, you click in the middle of it. But yeah, so I just thought that was quite a nice touch. So we're going to put the GPS back on now, instead of the glove box. And again, the real aircraft doesn't have an autopilot, it's just the developers realised that most people, if they want to do a longer journey, they're going to get bored stiff holding it straight in a straight line, because the aeroplane does move around. So we're going to head over to the other side now. Weave our way up the Colorado River. So we're over Lake Mead at the moment. So we're going to be coming past Temple Bar Airfield in a few minutes. We're going to a touch and go if anybody's interested in doing one, or we can just fly straight by. Chattanooga. Yeah, thanks for the compliment. It's these bush flights, or I don't really fly them in the bush flight manner though, do I? I'm just kind of going for a leisurely fly. They're a bit of a step back, aren't they, from the big airliners and the fighter jets. It's just like, let's go have some fun and explore the landscape. Going to follow the waterway. I am not putting music on the back of any of these flights anymore because I get too many copyright takedowns. Even with copyright-free music, you'll still get companies who are willing to go to court to fight copyright and say that copyright-free music is theirs, which I'm just not willing to even enter into the argument with them anymore. So all you're going to get is engine noises of me waffling on, I'm afraid. So if you remember, a little while ago I did a flight, oh, where was it? It was exploring Tasmania. I had to delete it. I had ended up with, I think it was 15 takedown notices on it, with people claiming that all the copyright-free music was their own. Some of them gave up as soon as I contested it. Others doubled down and said, right, we'll get the lawyers then. And that was using copyright-free music. Oh, the music industry. I'm just reading the comments saying you'd think they would like the advertising of the music. No, that's not how the music industry works, unfortunately. And that's not how artists work either, I'm afraid. Comes from decades and decades of let's see how we can squeeze the last penny out of anybody possible and damage our own reputation in the process. Read an interesting story a while ago. In the US, the recording arts people, was it RIAA, is it they're called? They were seriously looking into putting sensors in car seats to make the driver of a car that was broadcasting radio within the vehicle pay for performance fees for the artists being played on the radio to the people in the car. So in the same way that, say, if you did a dance class, and if you have music in your dance class, then you have to pay given the number of people in the venue that are doing the dance class. So they were trying to do the same trick with every car. Obviously it didn't get very far, because I think the car manufacturers just laughed them out of town. But they tried it on. Anyway, there's quite a lot of glitches in the scenery around here, aren't there? It surprises me, especially as the Grand Canyon had special, although we're not in the Grand Canyon yet. We're in the upper reaches of the Colorado River, I guess. And we will be for the next 20 miles maybe, and then we'll enter into the Grand Canyon. How are we doing on fuel? I've never really taken notice of how quickly this burns fuel. I mean, there are various airfields along the canyon, but once we leave Grand Canyon West, if we last that long, we should be. We're making good progress, actually. It's quite a long stretch, isn't it, from Grand Canyon West further in, but we should be okay. So we're almost over speeding. I'm just going to come off the power a little bit. Should we fly low over some of these little hills? There's another scenery glitch there. It's interesting, isn't it? And we had a downstream there in the air that nearly pulled us into the hillside. And again, the plane is being sucked downwards. I think this is the most glitches I've seen in the scenery for months. Maybe as we get closer to the Grand Canyon it will get better and better. It's a shame you can't easily see the wheel. Oh, you can. Just looking at the wrong place. To see if it goes in the water. Now I'm wondering about shortcutting straight over the top, or do we go all the way around the river? Let's have a look at the map. So we could... Is there anything worth seeing out here? There are some nice rock formations, I guess, that we'll see. But then there's a lot of desert before we get into the actual canyon. I think we could probably outturn the steersman that's with us. This thing is insane. Give you some idea. Back to tootling along after our moment of excitement. So we're going into the border between Nevada and Arizona is along this river. Get ready for the steerman to go into the water. He's trying to leave trails, isn't he? He's about to hit the hill there. So it would appear we have to go to this pass here. Yeah, the one saving grace the Stearman has is the engine sound. It's a shame the Pilot is modelled really awfully in it. I think it's built by DC Designs, who went on to make every fighter jet known to man really poorly. But I think it was their first project with Flight Sim, I'm not sure. But yeah, the sounds are fantastic on it. So the scenery should be improving very soon, hopefully. We'll start to get the high-res textures. Not sure the exact route in. Let's have a quick look. So we follow the sand in. This does not match the map look. This has got a lot more water here than Google Maps says. They've put a lot more water in this area than is actually there, probably. Yeah, the landscape's starting to get more interesting, isn't it? That floodplain there. Quickly move this map so we can see. So this is getting towards the beginning of the Grand Canyon now. Yeah, you can see the scenery is slowly getting higher definition and more accurate. Climb a little way away from the water, so we can actually see some of the scenery. It's an amazing place, isn't it? I keep wondering about, I'm not sure where the places are where you can see the, is it the KT boundary they call it? There should be a black line somewhere. That is the meteor impact. I'm not sure where you look for it though. I think it's quite high up. Because obviously you're seeing probably billions of years in the strata. We actually want to see about, was it 200 million years ago, 150 million years ago? It'll be up there somewhere, I imagine. Can I dial in nav radios on this thing? I'm not sure I can. It's got a comm radio. It's got standby, yes, it hasn't got nav radios, which is interesting because it has got an approach button, so I'm not sure how that works. Unless there's something hidden in here to do nav radios. I wasn't aware that there was. So obviously it's got transponder, which I should have switched on, whoops. Yeah, I'd have to look in the book to see how approach mode works. Because it's also got nav mode, but I think that's if you've got a flight plan programmed in, it will follow the GPS route. Because I've tried that and it works really nicely. So we're just coming past Grand Canyon West. Well, we could go and climb out up to it, but it's a hell of a climb to get back out there. Yeah, I don't fancy circling for 10 minutes just to go up and do a touch and go. Better. Oh, just mind the hillside. You can see out at the top now. Gives you some idea of the scale, doesn't it, when you see it like that, towering over the top of you. Quite turbulent down here. I'm going to climb away from it a little bit. I'm being thrown around. The fuel going down to about 50%. Of course, we could always have some fun with the camp out kit. I don't know if anybody's seen it or seen the video where I covered it. I've got it installed. It's up here. So the Parallel 42 camp out kit is absolutely brilliant, or camp out utility I think it's called. So we can set up camp. So if we were to land on a side of the water down here somewhere, we could get a tent out and set up a campfire. Look at the quality of the scenery now. It's getting better and better, isn't it? Obviously, the further you go into the canyon, the more attention it's had, basically. They've cleaned it up, tidied it up, haven't they? So yeah, just saying what Mike Coffey is saying there. I try and buy from the developers, but more and more developers are going to the marketplace. And to be honest, I don't blame them, because there is so much piracy going on. Having said that, Asobo have now stopped encrypting what's in the marketplace, so aeroplanes can be ripped off out of the marketplace as quick as you like as well. It's a shame, it really is. Why they haven't built in some sort of encryption or licensing mechanism for the aeroplanes that, you know, that ties them to you, I'll never know, because it could end up killing the simulator. The piracy is absolutely rife. I've had to ban a couple of people from Virtual Flight Online that were absolutely unrepentant, saying that they believed they had an absolute right to copy airplanes, and it was the fault of the developers for not protecting them. I tried to argue with them and said, you know, you keep doing it, there's no game to play because nobody can invest the money because they're never going to make any money out of it, but they wouldn't hear it. But yeah, I try and get the airplanes from developers where I can, and that also does mean you get the updates a lot more quickly. It's like talk to the guys at Parallel 42 after I did the video and I made a mistake entitling one of them, and they've been absolutely great. They offered to, you know, give me all sorts of things because of the traction the video had caused. They obviously, you know, they realised how to play the game, and they're being good to content creators. It seems really strange to call myself a content creator. All I'm doing is recording videos of what I'm doing in the sim. I'm looking for a flat patch of land somewhere. I guess we could go up the top, couldn't we? If I climb out. Because there's flat land either side of the canyon, obviously. So let's keep an eye on the indicated airspeed as we do this. I don't want to get too slow. Probably 80 knots is the best climb rate, I would imagine. So yeah, about 700 feet a minute by the look of it. It's a tiny little Rotax engine in this thing, isn't it? See, the steerman can climb like nobody's business. It's got a whacking great radial. It's got power to give away, but it probably drinks fuel twice as quickly as me. But then it probably carries more. Just coming up to 3,500 feet. Whoa, turbulence. Some view, isn't it? Yeah, Nathan's saying, yeah, the steerman can't land as short as I can. No, he can't. And I'm not, honestly, I'm not looking for a flat patch around here anyway. I'm looking over at that headland, but I think once we get closer it'll be quite lumpy. That looks good over there, doesn't it? Should we go and scout it out? That looks like a perfect place to land. Or on top of there. In fact, that looks even better than here, doesn't it? Depends if the polygons change shape when we get closer, yeah, because that's got a lot more curvy look as we've got closer. It wasn't as flat as it first looked. See, is why it pays. That would be uphill over there. We'd stop really quickly. Then you'd have to do like a ski jump to get back off of it. Let's go and have a circle of this bit here. See what it looks like. looks pretty perfect to come in from across there and land uphill gently. There's not too many trees and bushes around. I reckon we could land there. Or even go the other way. Quite difficult to keep your bearings of which way is up. This thing is staying up on an updraft that's coming up the hillside. It's quite amusing, really. I am not managing to descend. I'm effectively slope soaring. I mean, look. I'm not losing airspeed, and I'm not losing altitude, and I'm on idle. And full flaps, and it's effectively slope soaring. And now look, I'm dipping, yeah, the wind is coming over the top. I'm having to go full throttle. So, if I came in, do a 90 degree, or 180 degree turn then, and then approach this direction. So I want to go back away from here. Fly out this way a little way and then come back. Whoa, slip soaring again. Had a massive updraft. Look at that, the downdraft is sucking me into the hillside. Oh my word. Okay, parking brake on. And open the door. Oh, someone else managed to land here as well. How did they manage that in a TBM? So the thing we were going to have some fun with here was the camp out kit. So you'll get an illustration now of the aeroplane, of where it is on the ground, and we can say I'll go and get a tent and put it out maybe over here, And actually it wants to be going the other way, doesn't it? Where's the handle? Oh, we have to zoom out. Should we put it the other side of the aeroplane so you can see it from that camera angle? And we'll have a fire, and we'll put that in front of the tent. And a chair. Oh, how about a barbecue first? First things first, eh? And a chair to sit in. That'll do. A camping chair. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But it's brilliant. So if we do this from the insert, here we go. So I can then zoom out on our little campsite. You can just see how ridiculously small we are in the world. Even more bizarrely, the smoke from the fire obeys the wind, so that pretty much supports. Look, the direction we came in was into the wind. Right, so if we want to pick up our tent, all we have to do is go and pull this out, and we can stow it, everything we've got there, and then we can redeploy it. So let's go and close the door again and go on our way. Handle. Batteries back on. I don't know, panel lights, nav lights on. Bit of throttle. Avionics back on. Okay, so we need to take off into the wind. So I'm going to go back down the hill. You're saying that we could just jump off the edge of the hill. Okay, it will level out in a moment. Try and avoid the trees. And we're in the air. So we want to actually go down that gully over there. Do you know, I'm inclined to stay up here because the view is so amazing. And stay over this side so we can look down into the valley. Or into the canyon, I should say. So how did the TBM do? Or did he slew it? Is that him? I think he jumped off the edge. Which is another very valid way to do it. You know, if you just go to the cliff edge with a small amount of speed. here he comes. That's a ridiculously good view, isn't it? Okay, so whereabouts are we in the canyon? It's quite a long way around, isn't it, to get to Grand Canyon National Airport. Don't look down, hey? It's enough to give you nightmares. Hear an airplane somewhere nearby. So we're just above 4,000 feet at the moment to get these views above the canyon floor. I'm not sure what altitude the canyon floor is. I think it's a couple of thousand feet, isn't it? Maybe 1,000. I'm not sure. It looks about 2,000 or 3,000 feet altitude, maybe above the river. So with Mike on about the music box and the effects you can do in Discord, yeah, most people are switching it off because Discord keep adding features that channel operators absolutely don't want, and that's why people are leaving Discord in droves. And to be honest, it's half the reason I've ended up looking at forums and at TeamSpeak again, because Discord just, I don't think they realise what they've got, and everything they do wrecks it a little bit more. It's a shame, really. Or maybe we are not the intended audience for Discord. So while we've taken advantage of what Discord can do for group flights, we really aren't the intended audience. The intended audience for Discord is really 12 and 13-year-olds playing platformers and stuff and various games with each other, where they are going to want odd sound effects and all the rest of it all the time. It's the reason no decent forum solution has ever been built into Discord, probably, because it's much more of the moment in Discord. Well, it's designed for that. It's not really designed for recording for posterity at all. It's designed to be disposable and, you know, much more immediate. Or maybe that's the wrong impression to have, but I'm not saying that the sounds aren't fun. I'm just saying there's a time and a place for some of it, and some of the groups I am a member of do like group flights where they've got ATC and things like that, and yeah, they banned it instantly. But I think it's because we are not the greater part of the audience for Discord. We are a niche interest, or certainly as soon as you get into doing air traffic control and things like that and using Discord to do it, they are not the mass audience. They are a niche, or niche, I think the Americans call it. Special interest. That TBM, if it is a TBM, must be really struggling to go this slowly. Probably find it's not. It's probably a PC6 or something with a custom livery. I may be wrong, but I think the most high-traffic Discord server is the one with the community of people using AI to generate photographs. I've forgotten its name. I did look in on it when it was in the news, but I couldn't see the point in it myself. Mid-Journey, that's the one. Yeah, William Kelly, there's the name. But yeah, I did go and have a quick look, and yeah, it's interesting getting AI to create artistic pictures. You know, like I think where it gets really a grey area is where you say you want a real-world figure in a situation they weren't in, and it makes something that looks photographic. I think the famous one that was in the press was a load of FBI agents dragging Trump into a car with him fighting, and of course it was an invented photograph. It never happened. But it looked very realistic. But it kind of, I guess that one picture has made a lot of people very aware that you can't trust what you see anymore. Let's just make sure we're going the right way here. I think we are. So what I may do is actually finish the flight at Grand Canyon Bar 10 airstrip, because otherwise this is a hell of a long journey to do. So we've basically follow the river up this way. see the aeroplane being thrown around, can't you? It's probably not very comfortable sat inside. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Clive Davis said the maximum depth of Grand Canyon is 6,000 feet. That's impressive, isn't it? Oh, Mike, you don't have to thank me for virtual flight. That was really just me trying to figure out a way that people could easily organise going flying together. I'd always been fascinated with virtual airlines, but I always thought they were a bit had too many rules. So I tried to create a virtual airline that had the least rules possible. It's quite amusing because we've got over 1,000 pilots now in virtual flight online, which absolutely dwarfs any of the other virtual airlines or any of the current ones that are quite busy. There are some of the big ones like Fly UK that have got a lot of pilots, but I don't think a lot of them are active. But then they're a lot more regimented and strict about what they do. They actually try to run it as you might, you know, an actual airline, which we don't. We just have tours, and you can just, you know, it's an excuse of giving people something to do to go and fly somewhere around the world and keep a logbook of where they've been. So you earn badges for completing tours. So we're making our way up slowly towards, we're about 35 miles away from Grand Canyon Bar 10 airstrip. So should we try out this autopilot then? So if we put the autopilot on, go for wing level, altitude hold, let's see how well it does at it. So there's the vertical speed. Give it a few seconds to stabilize. It's doing it. If we watch the wing leveler, if we straighten up on the instrument, it's doing a pretty good job of it. Obviously, because it's such a simple autopilot, it's not doing heading, so you need to take into account crosswinds. So it literally is just keeping the plane level. Obviously, it's not going to see that whacking great. Butte. Is it Butte you call them? Bluff, Butte, something? Obviously now we're not having to fly, we can look around outside and horrify ourselves. The ground is a great wing leveler. No, the ground, what was it? The X-plane, sorry, not X-plane, SpaceX would say. A rapid, unplanned disassembler. That's what the ground is. So the rate this is going, it's going to straight line it straight up through this, through here, which might be interesting, I guess. Or do we get it to follow the river? Because we've got a 12 knot tailwind at the moment. going to chicken out. So remembering we have that tailwind that we're now crossing, we are going to be pushed towards this hillside. So we will still have to keep an eye on it. Let's go for wing leveling and altitude hold. So let's just be mindful that we are crossing the wind. But we're doing 110 knots, so we're only getting a 10% drift. So we're probably going that way. I don't think this river leads to the sea, I'm afraid. It would go to Lake Powell, and then it would eventually end up off in the Canyonlands National Park somewhere. You'd have to go the other way to trace it to the river, maybe to the sea, maybe. Where does it end up? Colorado River. Where does it? Does it get to the ocean? That becomes canals at that point. There's still Colorado River there, but that looks like a canal as well. Oh no, it's back into the Colorado River, so it eventually comes out into the sea. Oh no, that's another lake, Laguna Salada. So is that connected to here? Yes, it is. There you go. So that's where it gets to the ocean, is Baja California. So where were we? We were about to make a right turn, that's where we were. So we've just avoided this land over here. How are we doing for fuel? Oh, we're down to 30%. I think we'll be good. One of the other planes that's flying with us. So, looks like we need to go to that side of that rock. If I'm reading this right, that rock there is that. So let's come off the autopilot. Yeah, that looks about right, doesn't it? How much fuel do we have on this wing? 30% and 30%. We started with about 80%. So we're not done too badly. So we've just got to get around the other side of this hill and we should see the airfield that we're going to land at. Amazing scenery. So in Little Nav Map, this is the unofficial Google Maps terrain layer that you can, if you search online for Google Maps Little Nav Map, you'll find it. You also get various other ones available, sorry, in here. So you can do the US, where is it, VFR sectionals. I'm not sure if it's got any for this part of the world. Yeah, it hasn't got them from everywhere, which are quite different. But you can see why I prefer the Google Map terrain view. That view is incredible, isn't it? Simulator really earns its money sometimes, doesn't it? So, of those of you tagging along in the live stream chat, have you got any objections to me doing DCS videos, or would you rather I stuck to flight sim? I guess part of the fun part about doing DCS videos is you're going to see me get shot down a lot. But not for a while, because I won't be doing dogfights straight away. The only thing that's led me to think about doing the DCS videos is because the fighter planes in flight sim are so bad. And obviously the ones in DCS do. Like, okay, they're expensive, but they are study level. So the F-16, the F-18, the F-14, every button works. Every part of the avionics suite is there and working. And the flight models are massively more accurate than anything for a fighter jet in flight sim. Yeah, I'm not going to switch completely to DCS. It will just be now and again. I'll be interspersing with the flight sim stuff, DCS videos. One of the major issues with, well, I'm going to land on top of a TBM by the look of it. One of the major issues with DCS is because of having to click around, I'm almost going to have to get head tracking in order to operate the cockpit without, looking away all the time. Either that, or I've got a Stream Deck in front of me. I might have to heavily program it with rafts of key combinations to do things, which DCS does let you do. Everything that's clickable or movable, you can program to be on a button or a lever or a switch. Okay, let's keep an eye on where we are. So we follow up this valley then, and it should be directly in front of us, down here somewhere. Oh yeah, I can see it directly in front of us. There's the airstrip. So, looking at the wind, we will be landing on runway 16. Let's just check the wind on the ground. 250 degrees, 13, gusting 19. Oh my word. Hate to tell everybody this, but yeah, there's going to be a massive crosswind. So some sort of castle or some sort of constructure. Past pockets. Presumably that just means tourist site. So there's some sort of either old mining encampment or something in here. It's down here, isn't it? Although I thought it looked like it was on the opposite side of down there. Maybe I'm reading the landscape wrong, maybe it is that. Obviously I don't need a very long runway. Just going to come in on idle, drop the flaps and bring it in. And he's trying to land, although it was a crosswind, wasn't it, we decided in the end. So the wind is coming from this side. So it's obviously swirling in this canyon. Pretty good landing. Just to get a look, I'm just looking at that windsock over there. Yeah, I'm going to come from the other direction. They're going to find out the hard way where you don't... Oh, we nearly lost that. That's what you get when you land downwind. Right, I'll come and park up and get the barbecue back out. Right, turn the fuel off, and should be able to just say get everything back out again. And there we go. I guess to make it a bit more fun, seeing as there's several of us here, we'll get several tents out, shall we? How do you do this? So we want one of those. That's a winter tent. Is there another tent? There we go. Put one of these over here. And another one over here. And another one of these big ones over here. Let me just and you could keep going this is forever and a day, couldn't you? There we go. If only that was a real barbecue. It's making me hungry looking at that stuff frying away. If we turn the weather round and make this into the evening, there we go. So got the stars. And the tent. It's ridiculous, isn't it? In fact, we could go on the drone camera. Ah. The trick to the drone camera is turning the speed down on it. It's a shame you can't... well, you might be able to set the default speed. I've never really looked. But if you turn the speed down to, say, 2, you get much more control. If you have an Xbox controller, you'll have a lot more control. There you go, look, so you can play games with stuff. So then we could say... let's see what else we can put out on the campsite. Cooler. So put that there. In fact, we'll put that a bit closer. Toilet rolls. Petrol can, yeah, put that next to the fire. That's a good idea. There's a lantern. Put that there. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you had fun. Nothing to do with flight simulation there at the end, but it's good fun. Oh, someone's starting their plane up. We're going to watch a night takeoff. Someone's just written their plane off in the bushes. There's one too many beers at the campsite by the sounds of it. Oh, he's coming for a low pass. He's coming to ruin our barbecue. Right. Oh, this one's coming in for a screaming pass as well by the look of it. I keep expecting when you see lights coming in like that for them to split in opposite directions, like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Oh, he's going to come in and land by the look of it. Or is it going to be a low, slow pass? Let's see how this goes. Oh no! That's a very low loop. Hope he knows what he's doing. Oh, it's okay. Right. I am going to call it a night. So hopefully you've all enjoyed that. Exploring the Grand Canyon and then turning a breakfast barbecue into an evening barbecue. I'll see you all again soon.